Hey Jags, welcome back to the Chat newspaper. On January 3rd, under the orders of US President Donald Trump, the United States military carried out a large-scale strike on the Venezuelan capital of Caracas, killing up to 100 people and capturing Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. This marks a historic day for Venezuela, which has been under the control of Nicolas Maduro's brutal regime since 2013. Maduro's capture had thousands of Venezuelans and Venezuelan expatriates taking to the streets in celebration, with the news coming as a shock to many who'd expected the authoritarian regime to continue for years to come. Many believed that Venezuela could finally be free, both from the dictator's iron fist and from the economic havoc that his administration has inflicted on the nation. Unfortunately, while Maduro's removal does bring hope to many Venezuelans, Venezuela's future is still insecure. There are worries globally that this strike represents an alarming and ever-growing shift towards U.S. intervention in foreign policy and a drastic shift towards neocolonialism. Additionally, Maduro's government still retains power in Venezuela as U.S. intervention only removed one man. Many speculate that U.S. intervention had little to do with actually helping the Venezuelan people and more to do with the seizure of petroleum. President Donald Trump has fervently declared his support of U.S. seizure of Venezuelan petroleum shipping lanes, claiming that the U.S. would be taking oil as payback for Venezuela's crimes to the USA. Many draw parallels from this incident to our regime changes in other nations, namely Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan, all of which have left the countries in far worse states than they were originally, and many question the constitutionality of Trump's actions. Here's what PPCHS students have to say about the attack.
It's a flagrant violation of international law, right? And it is one very clear step to global domination. It's the notion that the U.S. can just, by the whim of one person, go and intervene in a foreign country and take all their resources, do regime change. It's internationally illegal, but the fact that the United States is able to get away with it so clearly and so quickly, it's a sort of like stance that the U.S. is taking of like, hey, we could do this to them, we could do it to you, don't step out of line.
Maduro's policies sort of sold out a lot of the Venezuelan economy out to countries like China, Russia, Iran, and the quality of life really became terrible for most people living there. Unless you were wealthy or affiliated with the government, then you're looking at people that are struggling to get by. You have to send they're living off remittances. You're seeing power outages every day, streets, it's chaos, a lot of burglary, robbery.
What do you think of his recent removal? Do you think this will be good for Venezuela or bad for it?
While it is conflicting, I don't believe Trump had the most noble of intentions when taking Maduro out of presidency.
But you see a lot of Venezuelans living here in the United States celebrating. They're like, yay, Maduro's gone. But I think that's a very short-sighted look on the matter, because things like this have never ended up good. People cheered on Saddam Hussein's overthrow in Iraq, and not to say Saddam Hussein was a good guy, but what concurred after was the creation of ISIS. It was the establishment of Al-Qaeda. It was the robbing of all of Iraq's oil and material wealth into the United States.
It comes down to which is the lesser of two evils, the way it was before, or the hope that with this new administration, it's able to build its way back up into the country it was before.
And where does that leave the Venezuelan people? I think, again, you got to look to Iraq. What is Iraq's condition now, and what is the material condition of current Iraqis? It's not great.
I do believe that I am hopeful that this turns out for the best, for the greater good.
And once civil instability really starts to set in Venezuela and the material conditions worsen day by day, I think the United States will really have blood on our hands there.
Thank you so much. Hopefully, the Venezuelan people see the freedom they've been longing for this past decade, and American interests remain confined to bringing liberty. That's all for today, Jags. Be sure to check out our story on the Chat newspaper website for more information, and tune in next time.